Folks, where are home prices headed this fall? I'll get into that and then the latest home prices and insights for the city of Toronto for week ending August 22nd, 2025. If you want to speak directly with me about your real estate situation, selling, buying, it's really simple. Below this video, in the description, there's a link to my calendar. Click on that, book a time that's convenient for you, and we will talk about whatever's on your mind. It's September the 2nd. That's the day this video goes out. September, especially like the first week of September, almost feels like a new year. I don't know what it's like in your family, but in my family, although my kids are bigger now, when they were younger, September was the first day of school, and it was like a new year. You'd go into the office the previous few months, and the offices were, half full. Not everybody was there, but come September, it's a full office again. Everybody's back to work. Streets are busy again. Traffic is busy again. September is like the new year. Real estate is no different. Lots of people have high expectations for September. We work with buyers. We work with sellers. And I can tell you the number one question I get asked is, where are prices going for? Where are home prices going to be for September? That's the number one question the last couple of months and right now. Well, if you're a buyer, what you're looking forward to, what most buyers are looking forward to for this fall market, are more listings. And if they were on the market come August, they've seen fewer and fewer listings going up. They've seen fewer properties available for sale. So buyers are kind of excited for the most part about having more choices come this fall. And when we talk about expectations, we base all of our expectations on what we've seen in the past. It's just natural to do that. And we do expect more listings coming up in the fall. That's most falls. That's exactly what we see. So buyers are looking forward to more listings. Prices, buyers are looking forward to more competition. And in a buyer's mind, more competition means prices tend to trend down. Now, if you're a seller, you're hoping for that sale that you didn't get over the summer months. Now, this is a seller that was on the market in the summer, took their property off the market, and we've seen that because active listings have come down in most areas dramatically. Well, that's not because those properties were being sold. They either naturally will expire at the end of August, or sellers have pulled their properties off the market to put them back on, most part, put them back on this fall. So sellers have a different attitude. They're looking for that sale that they didn't get. The seller's kind of up against the clock a little bit because they know if a few extra months go by this fall, it's the winter, and it makes it, another time where there's a slowdown. So in the first couple of months of the fall, the sellers are looking for their sale. And many sellers have the expectations that prices, because there's more buyers coming onto the market, they're looking at prices maybe trending upwards. Maybe they're excluding the fact that there's going to be a lot more other listings on the market also. So I'm saying all this because nobody knows for sure exactly what's going to happen this fall. I can tell you that normally August, everything, sales, volume, listings, everything tends to trend down. But this August, halfway through August, in many areas, we've seen an uptick in listings. Maybe these are sellers trying to get ahead of the fall market of new listings coming up. So we've seen an uptick in listings. We've seen an uptick in sales, in actual activity that we normally don't see at the end of August. That's what's happened at the end of August. Now, is that foreshadowing for what we expect this fall? Nobody can say for sure. Although there's going to be plenty of people telling you exactly what to expect this fall, nobody knows with certainty what's going to happen this fall. I know lots of you that watch this channel follow real estate intensely. So you tell me, What are your expectations for this fall market? What are you expecting from activity? What are you expecting from prices? Are prices going up because there's going to be more buyers looking to buy? Are prices going to continue to trend down? You tell me. Let me know in the comments below. Let's see if we could figure this out together. If you feel this video can help somebody you know, please pass it along. And if you get value from what we're talking about, subscribe. Now, let's get into the numbers. Here we go, folks. The city of Toronto only. That's what all the data is about today. Most of the focus, well, actually, all the focus is going to be on the freehold market, mostly the detached market. And I've got average sold prices here for detached, semis, and towns. I do have average prices for condos here. It's only for reference. The condo price versus the detached average price, there's an $802,000 price difference. And this is for week ending August 27th. Let's get started with detached properties for the city of Toronto. For week ending August 27th, 131 detached properties were sold. 28 of those sold at $2 million or more. Now, when we talk about expectations and we talk about what do we expect for August, well, we expect sales to be trending down. All sales to be trending down. Typically, that's what we see for August. Well, August kind of started that way, but midway through August, we've seen sales trending up, which is a little bit unusual for August. Not just sales trending up, property selling at $2 million or more. August 27th is basically the last full week of August. We went from 16 properties, 18 properties selling at $2 million or more to 28 properties selling at $2 million or more. And we've seen sales trend up the last few weeks of August, which is a little bit unusual. Is that foreshadowing for what we expect for the fall? We're going to see, right? Average prices the last few weeks have been pretty steady. 1.45 to 1.478, which is what it is right now for week ending August 27th, 1,478,000. Overall, we've seen prices trend down, but they're kind of hovering right now through the month of August. Versus the same week a year ago, 1,478 is 3% lower. The median price of 1,195 is 5% lower year over year. The dotted line, that's a 4-week moving average. Both average price and median price overall have been trending down. But if you look at August, it's a little bit less trending down, more flat actually. 131 were sold. 30 of those, so 23%, sold at list price or more. Listings, we normally see listings all the way down, kind of trending down, but not so much. Listings jumped up a little bit. Active listings have been trending down quite a bit, actually. It's not because all these properties are being sold. The end of August, lots of properties will naturally expire. The listing, the MLS listing, will expire at the end of August, so they've come off the market. And many sellers have pulled their properties off the market. So the fact that active listings is dropping dramatically, it's not necessarily that these properties are all being sold, because we're not seeing that being reflected in the sales. In months of inventory, a bit lower, still a little bit on the balanced market side. We're sitting at 4.1 months of inventory. That's the whole city of Toronto for detached properties only. When we break the neighborhoods down, I've got Toronto here broken down into 9 different sections. So if we say the whole city is 4.1 months of inventory, I'll show you here. Some neighborhoods a little bit more aggressive, and other neighborhoods a little bit more loose when it comes to that. Scarborough, for example, is at 2.9 months of inventory. East York, Riverdale, more competitive. It's at 2.6 months of inventory. Weston Yorkdale, 2.6 months of inventory. And then we got other areas. High Park, 5 months of inventory. Rexdale, Downsview, 5.1 months of inventory. Midtown, 5.7 months of inventory. Uptown, 9.7 months of inventory. So just, when we say, it's a bit of a balanced market, well, that's the whole city. Some areas going to be a little bit more aggressive. You're going to see listings coming up with offer date type of strategy, pricing strategies, and you're going to see other neighborhoods a bit more of a buyer's market. Let's look at the data just for 3-bedroom detached versus 4-bedroom detached. So for 3-bedroom detached, 66 of those were sold for week ending August 27. The average sold price is $1,271,000. Now, average price, the trend is similar to what I showed for all the city of Toronto, where prices were trending down, but over August, they kind of seemed to hover or maybe even trend up a little bit. And we saw the same thing with sales. We're trending down, but come August, they started to jump up a little bit again. Compared to the same time a year ago, for 3 bedrooms, $1,271,000 is 7% lower than the same week a year ago. Here's 4 bedrooms. Fewer 4 bedrooms were sold than 3 bedrooms, and I can tell you the price point has a lot to do with that. So 36 4-bedroom detached properties were sold. Average sold price is $2,031,000. Overall, prices for 4 bedrooms are trending downward versus the same week a year ago. $2,031,000 is 5% higher. And when we compare the two, we got 3 bedrooms down here, 3.1 months of inventory. 4 bedrooms is 5.7 months of inventory. So two different, one is just entering what we call the balanced market. So it's between a seller's market and a balanced market. And the other one at 5.7 months of inventory is on the other side of what we would call a balanced market, headed more towards a buyer's market. The difference in price, $760,000. That's a difference in average sold prices. Here's semi-detached properties. For week ending August 27, 41 semi-detached properties were sold. 8 of those sold at $1.5 million or more. And I stress the 8 because just like the detached market, those more expensive semi-detached properties was much more. 8 is much higher than what we've seen every week for the month of August. We've been seeing 4, 5, 3, 1. The last week of August, 8 sold at $1.5 million or more. Average sold price, same pattern as the detached, where August kind of hovering or even going up a little bit. The average sold price for week ending August 27 is $1,137,000. 1,137 is 12% lower than the same week a year ago. The median price of $925 is 18% lower than the same week a year ago. This August, it's not behaving like the previous August we've seen. Months of inventory sitting at 2.6. That's for semi-detached properties. For Freehold Townhouse, 14 of those were sold for week ending August 27. None of those sold at $1.5 million or more. Average sold price seems to be going one way. We're now sitting at $996,000. 996 is 19% lower than the same week a year ago. The median price of $985 is 27% lower than the same week a year ago. Those prices are both trending down. We're sitting at the 3.6 months of inventory for freehold townhouses. Here's a quick summary. When you compare the 3 bedrooms to a 4 bedrooms, two different, totally different. 3.1 months of inventory to 5.7 months of inventory. 5.7 months of inventory. It's a completely totally different selling or buying experience. But again, price point, neighborhood will also determine that, what you're going to experience there. But overall, in most cases, you're probably going to experience a bit of a balanced market in most cases. Thanks for watching. Have an awesome day.